Hi guys, today we're going to talk about ordering real numbers. Several of you have had some trouble with making sure that you get those correct on your ALEKS, so I wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a review. So first of all, you have several different types of numbers. You have fractions, you have positive and negative numbers, you have square roots, and so we need to make them all the same thing. So instead of having rational and real and integers, we need everything to be decimals. So the first thing you need to do is take each one of your numbers and rewrite them as decimals. So remember that a fraction is merely division, so do 7 divided by 8 on your calculator, and that will give you 0.875. All right, next you're going to do negative 1/6, so negative 1 divided by 6 gives you negative 0.16 repeating. And then we will work on negative 7/13. So negative 7 divided by 13 is negative 0.53846. And that continues on forever, so we'll put dots to let us know that. And then the square root of 1. On the square root of 1, you should know that is square root means some number times itself to give you 1. And the square root of 1 would be 1. If you didn't know, you can do that on the calculator. The square root of 1 is 1. And last but not least, negative 0.3 is already a decimal. It's already a decimal. So now, next what we need to do is we need to take those numbers and we need to do one of two things. We're going to follow the first method, and that is to plot them on a number line. So we need to plot negative 0 or positive 0.875, which is 7/8 on the number line. So we need to follow our number line to the right in the positives to 0.8, almost to 9. And we can write that as 7/8. The next one's negative 1.66 repeating. So we go negative 0.1, almost to 0.2. And that was equivalent to negative 1/6. Now negative 7/13 is negative 0.5384. So negative 0.53 would be between negative 0.5 and 0.6. And that was equivalent to negative 7/13. And then the square root of 1 is 1. So go to positive 1 and label that. And negative 0.3. Now, if they're asking you, in our case, it was least to greatest. Least to greatest, you're going to go from left to right and list them in order. If it were greatest to least, you'd go backwards from right to left, but we wanted least to greatest. So the smallest number is negative 7/13. And keep reading to the right. Negative 0.3. Negative 1/6. 7/8. And finally, positive 1. All right, so let's say you're not familiar with putting numbers on a number line, or you're not comfortable and that causes you problems. There is another way that you can do that. You still use those same step 1 numbers where we had already converted them to decimals. This time we're going to take those numbers and align them by their decimal point. So 0.875, negative 0.166 repeating, negative 0.53846, and that continued. 1 and negative 0.3. Now, what we need to do is compare their place values. First thing you want to look at are your positives. They are the easiest. So we're only going to look at these two. Those are your positives. Which one? And you start from the left and going to the right. You look at your whole numbers. 0 is smaller than 1, so that is smaller than this. So we know that in our positives, 0.875 is smaller than 1. Now, let's look at the negatives. Remember, we have to go backwards. So we're wanting to look for the largest place value. So if you look at your negatives, all that is left, they are all negative zeros. Look at your first place value, 1, 5, and 3. Whichever one is the largest is actually the smallest number. So that means that this is our smallest number. And that corresponds to negative 7/13. So negative 0.53846 is our smallest. The next smallest would be 0.3. Remember, we're going down. So negative 0.3. And then last but not least, negative 0.16666, repeating. All right, so now that we have those kind of compared, you can see I already have those numbers here. You can write those originals in order there if you'd like. And then what we're going to do is take these and line them up with their original values from step 1. So with our green, negative 0.5386, that corresponds to negative 7/13. Then our red was always negative 0.3. Negative 0.16 repeating was negative 1/6. 0.875 was equivalent to 7/8. And last but not least, 1 is equivalent to the square root of 1. And there you have it, least to greatest. Thank you. I hope this helps.